Hello and welcome to the Alexa Show. I'm your host, Alexa Servodidio, and joining us is the amazing Jana Short. She's a global health wellness influencer, best-selling author, public speaker, host, and magazine editor. Jana, welcome to the Alexa Show.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here today.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Now, you have such a unique brand. You're really into reaching and teaching and also working with other experts. How did you get started on this journey?
Wow. I got started because I'm an interior designer. It's what I've done all my life. It's what I was educated to do. But when I turned 51, I was sick and I had my stomach completely removed. And I was literally heading downhill. And I got online and started looking for health options when my doctor sent me home to die. And I started typing in the words desperate for health answers, and all this holistic information started popping up. And I didn't really think I'd be here 10 years later in this field, but I wanted to educate myself more. And I wanted to share that story of hope that here I am 10 years later. My stomach did not grow back. I did not cure myself, but I have had the best decade of my life, and I'm thriving in my diagnosis now. And I am because other things opened up to me. And by the way, I'm an educated woman. My husband's a doctor. I did not know that these things were available to me. So I felt like if I didn't know, how many other people don't understand that there are things out there that you can help supplement your body with.
Absolutely. And now you had some pretty, as you said, pretty serious health issues. It was actually being tube fed at one time. How did you remain positive? How did you remain strong?
Wow. So when I was doing interior design, I remember when I showed up at a client's house, I had my Hermes bag, my Louis Vuitton shoes. I was driving, the big expensive car. And to me, that said success. I stayed strong because here I came home to die at my weakest moment. And I had an 8-week-old grandson. So I was there the day he was born, went in for my surgery a couple days later. And now I'm meeting him again at he's 8 or 9 weeks. And when I put him in my arms and I was holding him, it occurred to me that none of that mattered, that I was desperate to make a memory with this precious little baby. He was our 5th grandbaby at the time. And I'm like, how will he even know what I smelled like, what it sounded like when I left, or how much I loved him? He'll have no memories of me. I got my strength and my shift in mindset creating a memory. And now that's how I live my life. I literally go from creating one memory to the next, and it's been joyous. I now have 7 grandbabies, and when I do Christmas, they don't get gifts. If I ask my grandkids, what did we get you last year before? They'd be like, I don't know. But now when I said, what did we get you last year for Christmas? We all went to New York and we saw the Statue of Liberty, and we do experiences now for holidays, and they remember those. And I know those memories are going to hold dear.
Yes, and I think that's so important what you said is really during those tough times when you feel defeated and when you feel so hard to keep moving forward is finding those moments and finding that motivation and that being able to help encourage yourself and then also making memories. So those become the footprints, the foundation, the pillars of your sense of self moving forward and really of your strength as a woman and as a survivor.
I feel like all women can relate to this who have children and then grandchildren. We were so busy in the moment, all those moments went by. And when someone tells you, oh, enjoy it while you can, before you know it, they're grown and gone. That literally happened to me in the blink of an eye. And to me, grandkids are do-overs because we've built our careers. We're in that comfortable place now. And we get more time. We understand the value of not missing the important things. So living in the moment is not really a saying. It's actually something I do now.
And I think it is important. As a new mother myself, I hear it so many times from everyone. It's going to go by so quickly. Cherish every moment. Next thing you know, she's going to be walking or driving and all of this. And I think we don't realize how quickly time goes by. And I think it's really being in the moment, as you said. It's the journey and not the destination.
100% it's the journey. Enjoy your journey. I don't care what kind of road bumps you hit. Enjoy those road bumps because I will have a day of road bumps rather than no day here at all.
Yes. So with all your different roles and different jobs that you do, how do you juggle it all and also find that time to really take care of yourself?
Well, taking care of myself is my number one priority for sure. My family is my second priority. And for people who think that that's a selfish statement, you should always be caring for yourself first. There's a reason they tell you in case of turbulence and that oxygen mask pops down, you adjust on your face first, because if you pass out, who are you helping? So you really need to take care of yourself. So my health is the number one priority for me. My family is the second. Business is after that, but I managed to make time for it. I have a really tight calendar. I enjoy it, but I make sure it's flexible. But I literally live and die by my calendar.
Yes, yes. And I really want to piggyback on something you said about, self-care and putting yourself first. And so many times people confuse that with being selfish, or can actually accuse someone of being selfish. And it's not. Self-care is so important because it helps those around you, but also it is the role model for others, your children, your family members, friends, others, those that are watching you. That, as you said, when you're on the airplane, you have to put the mask on yourself. What good are you to anybody if you pass out? And I think it's so important that people take these self-care tips and really learn that it's important self-care.
Yeah, when you have your children and they all get the flu, right? And then you catch it. Have you seen that commercial where the guy walks into the bedroom and the kid's in the crib and he says, I'm calling in tomorrow because I'm not feeling so great, so I won't show up. Well, we can't do that. I remember crying as I had 4 children. I remember crying, can I just be sick once by myself? I'm so sick, and yet I'm still got to be mom. There's time that you have to say, look, I definitely need to take a break, get somebody involved, help with the kids. You have to take care of yourself. What happens is our body is very intuitive. You live in it and you know when something's not right. And if you do not pay attention, it'll give you subtle hints and symptoms. Something is here, something's happening. If you do not pay attention, it will break you. It broke me. It will break you until you have no other option but to pay attention. So it's super important to listen to that intuitive voice in your body. And it is not selfish. The gift you give it yourself of self-care is a gift that everybody receives around you, for sure.
Yes. And I think it's so important also with self-care is that it's also very empowering. And I think it's so empowering to be able to know yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and be able to read your signs, as you said. Something's not right, checking your gut instinct. So your body's not reacting right. And I always say to a lot of my clients is the body remembers stress, it remembers trauma, it remembers danger. And we have to listen to it when our body and our mind are giving us warning signs to say, hey, slow down, or be careful. And I think it's really important because so many times people, I'm not going to listen to it. Oh, I don't want to be interested in that. And it's really important to be able to really know yourself and take care of yourself in that way.
I did the same thing everybody else does. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to make a doctor's appointment. I don't have time to go to the doctors. I don't have time to deal with this. And again, if you do not make the time to deal with it, your body finds a way to help you make that time, and you don't want to make it that way.
Yes. Now, so how do you use your personal experiences in helping others around you?
Well, I will tell you that when I work with clients, the very first thing I ask them to do is share their story. Your story is literally your beacon of light that you put out into the world. It literally shines from you. It's like nobody else's story. You were given this journey for a reason. And when you share that story, it's literally the hope or the miracle that somebody else is listening for. And when you connect with them with your story, it really opens them up to like, hey, how did she heal from that? If she could do that, I can do that. I'm no different than them. I have the capability to do whatever I want to do. So sharing your story is really powerful, especially on social media. I meet people and instead of saying, hello, I am, they say, hello, I'm selling, right? Or I have for you, but they're not connecting with me. They're not meeting me. And so I've made it a big platform of mine to be saying, hello, I am, and introducing yourself and building rapport through your story, through your message, through whatever it is you're passionate about, and really connecting with people in an authentic way.
Yes. And I think, as you said, it's being authentic and being genuine. And I think others can read that and feel that. As I'm listening to you speaking, I can see how genuine and authentic that you are and really passionate about your story, which encourages and also excites other people to want to be passionate about their story and to know, hey, I can use what I've gone through to inspire others. Because I really believe the whole reason why we're on this earth is to learn from our stories, but then give back to the community to help them learn and grow.
I, you know what? I feel like we all have a purpose here in life and we should live our purpose. And so when you see an alcoholic struggling, right, and they're going through AA, that was an aha moment for me. My dad was an alcoholic and he struggled and he was an absentee father and I was angry. And I went to his funeral and to a stranger basically, and I'm his only surviving child. And I thought I was at the wrong place. There were hundreds of people lined up and they would come up and it was a 4-hour funeral and they would say, oh, when I met Lonnie, he changed my life. And his journey of being an alcoholic led him to helping all these people that were waiting in line to say a few words at his funeral. And right at that moment, I realized that was my dad's purpose in life. His purpose was not to be my dad. He sucked at it. He was awful. But I was able to forgive him and love the fact that he lived his life's purpose. His purpose was to be the alcoholic. His purpose was to go through that journey so that he can extend that help to others. So I know that my purpose now was to be very sick, to be terrified of dying and leaving my family so that I could lean into my life's purpose. And I know without any doubt that this is my life's purpose. And that's why I wake up every morning with joy doing it.
Yes, yes. And I think it's so important too, as you were saying, it's turning your pain into power, into moving forward. And so many times, we can get stuck in, why is this happening? How can I ever get out of this? And I think it brings hope when people hear your story, hear other stories of, listen, this is tough. We don't know why these things happen, but there's hope. And that we all have an impact. Our story has an impact. And then we really have to watch how we judge ourselves, but also how do we speak to ourselves? Because so many times we can speak to ourselves negatively and maybe minimize what we're feeling or what we've gone through. So it is so important that we share our stories and be able to empower each other.
Alexa, I'm really glad you brought that up because self-care is part of the way we speak to ourselves, right? And I've
Yes.
had women tell me all the time that my husband doesn't tell me I'm beautiful. My boss doesn't tell me I did a good job, right? Even though you're getting paid to do a good job. They don't hear those things. Why do we have to wait for someone to validate what we already know? Why aren't we telling ourselves in the mirror, you are beautiful. You are so smart. You killed it at work today. I'm so proud of you. Why can't we do that for ourselves? Why can't we be validating ourselves and how amazing we are? Why do we have to depend on someone else? I was recently on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine as their top influencer. And I wanted a picture of me that was really dear to my heart because I had my hand held up and on my hand was a little tattoo stuck there that said, I am enough. We literally have everything we need inside of us. We don't need that validation from anywhere else. If your mom didn't say it to you, your husband doesn't say it to you, or your boyfriend or your friend, who cares? Say it to yourself. You already know this about yourself, that you're incredible, you're beautiful, you're smart, you can do anything. Part of self-care is treating ourselves just like we want someone to treat us, right?
Absolutely. We teach people how to treat us. Unfortunately, if people see us putting ourselves down, talking negatively to ourselves, not lifting ourselves up, they can negatively react towards us. And I think it's so important to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to treat myself well. If we're going to treat other people really well, we have to make sure we treat ourselves that well too. I think that's, so many people get confused. Oh, I don't need to eat healthy, or I'm not going to sleep well. I have to take care of so many other people. No, that's important. You have to take care of yourself and also be able to show that as a role model of others, that we are important of ourselves in order to be the vessel for others to heal, to grow, or find their passion and dream in life.
I think it's really important that everyone understands you are worthy of love no matter who you are or where you're at in life. You are worthy of that. And you need to be telling yourself, I'm worthy of that. And the minute you feel that shift in your side, inside of you, exactly what you said, Alexis, what you attract to you. So have you ever seen a girl that picks the same bad guy over and over? And my mom would say, she just has a bad band picker. Like her man picker's broken because she got in the same relationships over and over, because that is what you're attracting to you, right? So if you say, I'm worth it, I'm worth this, I'm incredibly exceptional, I'm this person, that's what you attract to. That's what they see in you, and that's who you attract. So really remember, what you put out in the world is what you're going to attract back to you.
Yes. And so many times they attract the same, or they go for the same person, male or female. Men do this too, hoping to have a different ending. And I always say to my clients, it's like watching the same movie over and over again, thinking there's going to be a different ending. If you're choosing the same person, different face, why do you expect a different ending? And so many people want to reenact past trauma or past loss or hurt and have a better ending. But that better ending and that healing comes from within, not from somebody else feeding that to you, or, as you say, making you complete, which really is in reality. Because if we always base our self-worth on somebody else, we never know. It's always so topsy-turvy. Now, you have an amazing new video series coming out, The 5 Keys Becoming the Next Influencer. Can you share some of your tips with us?
I do. The first one I've already shared with you, the power of your story, right? Your story is like nobody else's. It's very authentically you. When I read a client's story, I literally can go through with a marker and I mark call to action. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful quote that's yours. It's authentic to you. And if you want to be an influencer, why are you posting quotes from people who've been dead for 100 years? Wouldn't you rather see your quotes being plastered all over social media, like your message? So I go through there, I see those things that you don't see. Your story is so powerful. And that's the very first video series, is how to use your story to build a 7-figure business. Like, you remember, I am enough. You have everything you need. So stop buying all those things that people are saying is going to make you an instant overnight success, right? It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of passion, and a lot of skill to get where you're going, but you have it all. You have everything you need to do that.
Yes, yes. And I think, as you're saying, it doesn't happen overnight. And so many people get discouraged. And I think it's saying it's okay to, maybe take no for an answer, or not to maybe be where you think you're going to be, but it's being flexible, and it's showing up and saying, I'm going to be open. I have kind of an outline of what I want my success to be and what I want for myself to look like. But I think it's also being flexible, because the world is always changing, and being able to kind of work with it, and also be able to say, what, I have it in me. It's just letting it out and being comfortable with it.
The journey, by the way, the journey is the most important part. I live in Studio City, California, and we're surrounded by studios. There's a lot of celebrities here. My husband is a veterinarian, so he works on a lot of those celebrity dogs. Some of our favorite people were children's celebrities, and they had a lot of money at a very young age where they could pretty much buy whatever they wanted. When they adjusted into adulthood, nothing seemed important to them. There was no value to it. They didn't realize that they had worked as a child. It didn't seem like work. And that was a hard shift for them mentally to wrap around. So they got caught up in drugs or the wrong group of friends, right? Trying to find their place because they didn't experience the journey that the rest of us do. So if you really work for something and you receive it, you get it, you've accomplished it, it means so much more to you. Like, you're not just going to walk away from it, throw it away. That journey that you guys want to give up on, if you gave up on it and you knew in 5 days it was going to turn into the magic that you'd been working for, and you gave up 5 days short of it happening, how would that make you feel? And it may not be 5 days, it may be 5 years. My plan wasn't to grow overnight. My plan wasn't to grow at all. It was to survive and share my message. But look where it got me. It's like, it's been a crazy, amazing journey. So you guys have that all inside of you.
Yes. If someone watching right now is struggling and feeling they don't have what it takes, or where would they even start? Who would listen to them? What would you say to them?
You'd be surprised. For every story, there's somebody who's waiting to hear that message. There's somebody that's going to resonate with it. I would say start sharing your story in a very authentic way on social media. I started growing on social media about 9 years ago in a really authentic way. And now they're like my people. Like, I love them as much as they love me, but I always remember what my message is. My message is of changing your mindset, of self-love and self-care. And those little things that come out like these jeans make me look fat, or, I can't eat that, I'll get fat, or I'm not good enough to do that job. I just have to share this really quick story about a client real quickly. She was getting a new job in New York. She was asking me about, money and what she should be asking for. In the meantime, she had another interview that she didn't want because she wanted this other job. And she went in and asked for $100,000 more than she was currently making doing that same job, knowing that they would say no to her, right? And she didn't have to worry about that job. She could go try for the other job that she wasn't qualified for. They immediately said, yes, we'll pay you that. She would never have asked for that or thought her value was that had she was really trying to get it. Think about what your value is and ask for it. Expect it. Get out there. As people in my field, they're nurturers. They want to help. And sometimes we want to help for free. People have to be invested. Remember, they have to be invested in their health and their wellness. There's a yin and a yang, a give and a take. And so they have to be invested. Figure out what your value is and ask for it.
Yes, yes. So, so important. And thank you so much. We're at the end of the show, and I just wanted to again thank you so much for coming on the show and speaking all your words of wisdom. They're truly inspiring.
Thank you, Alexa. I really appreciate it. I was excited to do this show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And please make sure you're always finding your peace within the chaos. Everyone, have a good night and God bless.